And just by looking at this, just by doing this strength and weakness, and this was our selling point from last week, the 162.97. Look at this move. That's 300 pips that you would have taken from that. That is a major sell signal. That is weakness. This close is a very weak close, and it indicates continuation to the downside. This was our selling signal from last week. Now the key, it is coming back, believe it or not, it is coming back to our all-time favorite point, which is the 159.80. That is the major structure point that has been there for ages. We now should look for the dollar to test the 159 and hopefully to break below it. So this is a key area for us, and we want to take it short, but we want to make sure that it does go through. So if you go short now at 160, let's say 39 or 40, you are going to keep an eye on the 159.80 level, because as you can see from the chart, this is a very, very significant point, and it has been observed and traded successfully by us for a very long time, so we have to keep that in mind. Let's take a look at the weekly chart for the pound, just to be on the safe side. Again, this is our selling point, the 163.03, which like I told you from last week, we have now 5 sell signals over here. This is one sell signal, 2, 3, 4, 5 sell signals we already have, and we want to make sure that it breaks below the 159.80. This is the 159.80. It has been the high of this week, the low 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 of this week, and it's sitting right at it. So this now is the key. The 159.80 is the key now. So we want to make sure that it breaks, and if it does break below the 159.80, you want to give it all the room that it needs. You're going to give it the breathing room that it needs. So our bias for the pound is to the downside. This is our significant point. This was our sell signal, 61. So let's see what we have now here. There is your 62.90, and that's what you have to place on your screens. So you guys that are with us and have the software, you can initiate a break out of the range in Tokyo session. If not, then the guys that you can take a trade below the low of the day, below the 160 handle. This is going to be a tricky trade, guys, and you have to be careful with it, because your real first sell signal is below the 160.06. So, and then your structure is only 25 pips away. So if you're aggressive, you can take the short, let's say at the 160 when it takes below 160.06. So if you're aggressive, you can take a short below 160.06. all right, and your structural short point is still the 159.80. If you are conservative, you can wait and until it breaks below the yes, you can, Deborah. That's what I was just saying. Yes, you can wait until it gets below the structure point, and you take below the 159.80. all right, and if you go short now below the 160, it is very difficult for us, as you can see here, to pick a technical stop, because the trend is completely to the downside. So the best thing is to use the market side from last session, which is the 160.05. So your stop is going to be the 160.50, which is the market side. To go along, really there is no reason whatsoever. I mean that you don't have any indication of a possible trend change. If you want to catch maybe a little bit of a short covering rally, if it happens, then this would be the first place to buy. And this buy is a scalping buy. It's not a, it is just a buy to catch a short covering rally. So we'll buy it above the 161. So your buy signal is going to be above 161. And if you do buy it above the 161, you're going to place your stop right below 160.70, I'm sorry. You're just going to put it right here above the market. You don't want to give it much room. And your next structure point to the upside, if it doesn't go there, is the 162.97. Okay, so our bias is to the downside. We're looking to be shorting the pound, and we are going to buy the pound if it goes above the 161 handle. If we do, we're going to place our stop below the 160.07, so we're risking about 30 pips on this trade. My structure long is the 162.97. I will only go short below the 160. And my structure short is the 159.80, and my stop is going to be the 165. Okay guys, that is the pound dollar. Okay, let me hold the recording.